It is your girl Rikki Lee here, and I am so excited to finally be here on That Girl Radio. Guys, I announced this back in 2021, actually New Year's Eve, that I was going to be launching my very own podcast, my own passion project, because for those of you who don't know, I've always dreamed of having a talk show since I was a little girl. Like, I love to talk, actually talk way too dang blastic much, but I'm so excited. And for those of you who are new here, I'm just going to introduce myself briefly, to my own horn. I'm Rikki Lee, a 19-year-old student entrepreneur with a passion for fashion, beauty, all things Black, faith, and aesthetics. And around 9 months ago, I embarked on a very much so public journey to becoming the best version of myself, aka that girl, okay? And along the way, I gained over 45,000 friends and had over 2 million eyes to encourage me and hold me accountable along the way. And so along this journey, I've used my platform to showcase mainly to every woman around the world. And when I say around the world, I mean we global, baby. I've had people messaging me from Kenya, from South Africa, from London. Like, this is quite literally getting so large. And sometimes I have to pinch myself and say, is this real? Like, what's going on? But with my platform, I mainly want to encourage women that with whatever you do, when you do it with authenticity and creativity and have God at the very center, the results will follow. He will bless you and the blessings will just continue to overflow. But before we really get into this, I want to preface that by no means am I encouraging women to go out here and set unrealistic goals, because if your goals aren't big enough, then it's not a goal, honey. And if you don't dream big enough, if your dreams don't scare you, you're not dreaming big enough. But the whole thing is, becoming that girl has quite literally become a pandemic. It's kind of spreading like Corona at this point. It was all over the place back in the summer of 2021. And there was tons of YouTube videos showing guides on how to become that girl. And it was lots of matcha. It was lots of workout sets. It was lots of reading. It was lots of. And for a lot of people, it may look as though the journey is very superficial. It may look as though it is quite unattainable if you are not at a certain financial place or anything like that. But I want you all to know that this is a safe space, and I've cultivated this not to talk down on anyone and not to praise anyone. It's more so of a place to level the playing field and understand and know that to be that girl does not look like having a certain financial status, having a certain title, having a certain popularity level. Being that girl to me quite literally means being the best version of you. And that is not to be compared to anyone else, because let me tell you this, comparison is the thief of joy. I never want to showcase on my platform that I am by any means the blueprint, and that to be that girl, you have to look exactly like me. Being that girl and becoming that girl is not linear. This is more so like a crazy journey. You have ups and downs. And on my YouTube channel, I've been very transparent about that. And I've shown the ups and downs to my journey and the fears and, the days in which I'm scared to go after my dreams. But I'm still going to go after them anyway, because I know, as God said, that he will go before me and level all of the uneven places. So who am I to go out here into this crazy world and be scared? Because God has got my back. So that's really been my foundation and my rock and a lot of the things that I do. And so I just want you guys to know that there is no particular look, there is no particular feel, there is no particular sound to being that girl. Being that girl is quite literally what you make it to be. And that is what you design it to be, because that is the best version of you. And to be that girl on a terms of like, okay, if we're going to put a definition on it, it's more so of radiating and being your own source of joy. That is quite literally what being that girl is. I have found my inner peace, my inner joy, and my inner sparkle. And I cannot tell you how much it has improved my confidence, how much it has improved my posture when walking into any room and talking to any person, because I am more confident and firm in who I am. I have foundation now. I have roots, and now I've been able to blossom into this beautiful being and this beautiful woman because I've found my foundation and I built my pillars, because I've defined for myself what is important, and I've defined for myself what it looks like to take care, what it looks like to be content, what it looks like to be successful. And I haven't allowed the outside or anyone else to define these markers for me. I've defined them for myself. And that is truly what being that girl is. So if you are taking notes, please rewind a little bit and write that down, because I know online it may look like it's very surface level, wearing really cute sets and buying all of these aesthetically that girl things off of Amazon. And I'm saying this because I've been there and I've thought that, to be that girl, okay, I've got to have this because she has this, I have to have this. But no. It's about consulting God, consulting the very person who created you and asking him, what do you need me to do? Order my steps in order for me to fulfill my purpose and to be the woman that you've called me to be. And that truly is what being that girl is. That's the truth behind it. It's the inner work that makes you radiate and glow when you walk into rooms and makes you more of like a magnet where women are drawn to you, and you are the center because you are an example of what it looks like to walk in Christ, what it looks like to walk in your purpose, and what it looks like to be quite literally flexing. But, in God I flex because He's ordered my steps, and I know for a fact that anything and everything that I do, he's at the center. And if he's not at the center, then I don't want to be a part of it. And that has given me a tremendous amount of peace. And so I just really wanted to harp on that and define what being that girl is before we start to, build out this community and start having these really awesome conversations with other women in the Black community, other female-owned businesses, and, talking to other creative solopreneurs and talking to them about their journeys to becoming that girl in whatever industry that they're in, because I want this to be a safe space for women of all places and all spaces to know that your walk is going to be different. Your walk may be hard. Your walk may be a little more crazy, but that is what is specific to you. And I think that's the most beautiful part about it, that no one's journey looks the same. And I think it's so amazing that I get to share my journey with all of you. And I do it on purpose because I want you to see that. I'm sorry, I just hit my table. I just want you guys to see that, there is purpose. There is a calling on your life, and there is the opportunity and the room for us to take up space. And, I'm big on, if you don't want me to have a seat at your table, baby, I will make my own. I will make it from scratch, and I will give other women that look like me the opportunity to sit at that very table that I once wanted to sit at, because I know what it feels like to be cast out. I know what it feels like to be, looked past. And it's not a good feeling. But I always say this, be careful about how you treat the underdog, because you never know when they'll be the top dog. And so I'm so big on leaning back and helping my peers and giving them the same tools that I wish I was afforded when I was younger, when I wanted to get to these places and be in these spaces, because it's so important. Because there's so many times when, you see people, you're seeking mentorship. You want to know how they became that person, how they got to where they are, and they don't reach back and they don't give back. And that's what I'm doing here with this podcast. I want to reach back and give back to you all and give you the answers, and to cultivate a space where, we're all trying to adult here. We're all trying to figure things out. Like I said, I'm 19. I go to Ohio State. I'm studying marketing, and There's so many questions that I have. There are so many things that I want to know. And there's so many things that I'm so curious about. And curiosity, they say it killed the cat, but I feel like curiosity really helped the cat. Curiosity had the cat thinking like, okay, maybe I should try this out. Because I feel like curiosity is what making the cat die the 9 times. And I know y'all not hearing me right now, but like, just listen to me. Curiosity killed the cat, but the cat came back. And the cat has 9 lives. And the cat wouldn't have known that it had 9 lives had it not been curious and killed itself. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be relentlessly going after your dreams. You have to relentlessly go after the things that you want and bet on yourself in order to know, okay, my dream is big and I have this vision for myself and I'm going to go after it. And it might not be my time right now. It might not be my time. I might not be ready. And God's timing is the best timing. So just stay steadfast, stay ready, and choose yourself on the regular, consistent basis so that you can show up 100% in all other spaces. And I hope that really helped you all to understand and know what being that girl is and what it's about and what we're doing here with That Girl Radio, because this is going to be super duper exciting. For a super good challenge to get you started for Q2. So Q2 is about to start. It's about to be April very soon. And I wanted to provide you guys with a really structured guide on how to become that girl. Because the truth is, becoming that girl is a journey that is unique and it can be designed for you. It does not have to look like matcha every morning. It does not have to look like very expensive Pilates classes. It does not have to look like purchasing a new vehicle. Like, that was my journey, okay? But for you, it can look like quite literally anything. And shameless plug, if you go on to therikkilee.com right now and use the code RESET, you will receive 50% off on the That Girl Planner as well as the That Girl To-Do List to kickstart your That Girl journey. Like I said before, if you use the code RESET, RESET, for 50% off, you can get that Girl Planner and the That Girl To-Do List. And I wanted to give this to you guys at 50% off so that you can kickstart your journey with structure and organization. And in the That Girl Planner, there is a monthly reset where you can kind of check in with yourself and see and ask yourself these really pivotal questions that otherwise you wouldn't necessarily think to. And you can also keep track of all of your wins. There's a vision board section. It's really just amazing. And there's so many women out there that are using this That Girl Planner and the to-do list, and it is changing their lives. It's helping them to be the best version of themselves. But I know you're asking yourselves like, okay, Rikki, what is this journey? How do I do it? What is this reset? Is it going to be like the 75 hard where I have to do all this crazy stuff to become the best version of myself? Do I have to isolate myself? Do I have to do all these crazy things to be the best version of me? And I'm here to tell you that you don't. You don't. When you make things simple and when you make things easy, it's so much easier to get started. And so I have made the barriers to entry quite literally non-existent, okay? You don't have to start and spend money. You don't have to do anything like that. It's literally you just sitting in your room. You just need a pen and a piece of paper or an iPad and an Apple Pencil, and you can get started. So step 1 is purchasing that Girl Planner and That Girl To-Do List, but that's not required, but I do highly recommend. And then step 2 is completing the Life Audit, okay? A lot of people that are business oriented think that the audit is solely for the purpose of looking at business, solely for the purpose of looking at, success and growth and using it as a measure of, are we doing what we are supposed to do? There are things like financial audits and things like that, performance audits, but let's talk about the Life Audit. This is what's really going to help you on your That Girl journey. And this is before we even start getting into like what you're going to do every day, because we're not there yet. Right now, I want you to sit and think and pause this if you need to. Pause it if you need to. But just listen. You're going to ask yourself, do these things in my life bring me joy, growth, or pain? you're going to write out a T chart, okay? And you're going to put them into 3 different columns and title them joy, growth, and pain. Now, you may be able to list things in multiple categories. And let's say something brings you joy and it brings you growth. Then, of course, keep it in your life. Keep it. If it's bringing you growth and it's bringing you pain, sometimes in growth, you have to endure pain. And I would say if something is under the category of growth and pain, maybe keep it, because it's going to develop you. It's going to build character. It's going to, give you a little challenge. And sometimes things in life are going to be painful, but it's going to produce endurance, and it's going to sustain you and prepare you for the real blessing that God has prepared for you. So I want you to look at not only your job, not only the things that you're involved in, but also your relationships, your relationship with God, your relationship with friends, your relationships with family. I want you to look at the things that you're involved in, because I know a lot of you that are listening are college students. Like, I know for me, I just completed an audit because it's going to be close to the end of quarter one. Ooh, I'm so sorry. And I did an audit of all the things that I'm involved in on campus. And I'm like, is this serving me? Is this bringing me joy? One, and that's the most important. Sometimes things are going to grow you, but is it bringing you joy? And if it's really not bringing you joy, then, you can make that ultimate decision on whether or not you want to stay involved in it, because this is your life and it's up to you to make it what you want it to be. So we're taking control. And we're going to have autonomy over our life. And this is the very first step to becoming that girl. So ask yourself these questions. Look at all the different areas of your life, personal, professional, faith-wise, and look at them and say, okay, this is doing this for me. This has garnered these types of results for me. This is what it's doing. And I want to know if I want to keep it or do I want to get rid of it? And that's pretty much what you're going to do. Once you've done that, you're then going to structure the rest of your routine around these very things that bring you joy, that bring you growth, or bring you pain. And once you've decided, all right, you're going to build your routine. This is step 2. Build your routine that is not so much routine. I know a lot of you are used to the challenges where it's like, okay, you're going to wake up at 6 a.m. and you're going to make yourself a 7,000 ingredient smoothie. And then you're going to make yourself a 20-minute avocado toast. And then you're going to hop onto your computer and you're going to do this. And then you're going to read for 30 minutes. And then I want you to work out for 3 hours. Like, I don't want you to think that we're building out a structured plan for you, because for some of you, that may be what your routine looks like. But for people like myself, I need spontaneity. I need a routine that's not so much routine, that's going to allow me the flexibility to swap out things, because I live a very busy life. I have things that come up out of nowhere, and I don't want to feel not fulfilled if I do not do what I planned or put on my to-do list because I didn't do it. Then it's like I wasn't successful today, because you're 1% better than the day before when you choose to wake up and continue to work towards your goals. It's the very small steps that allow you to run in the end. And I want you to remember that this is not a marathon. This is not a race to the finish line. Like, this is a journey. So you have to choose to make those small choices every single day. And I don't want you to be like, at 6 o'clock, we're going to read for 10 minutes. Because when you don't do it, then it's just like, okay, am I still becoming that girl since I didn't do it? Because it's like, no. So you're going to build out your routine that's not so routine. And you're going to create a roadmap to the ways in which you can fuel these 4 things. Okay? I want you to list these out. You're going to fuel your mind. You're going to fuel your body. You're going to fuel your spirit, and you're going to fuel your heart and soul. So you're going to figure out a routine that's going to fulfill fueling all 4 of those things on a regular, consistent basis. You want to try to hit at least 3 of those in order to feel fulfilled. And I know that there are multiple different things that you can do to fuel your mind, to fuel your body, to fuel your spirit, and to fuel your heart and soul. And I'm going to list out some examples. The first step is to purchase the That Girl planner and the to-do list, because every day you're going to be writing out your to-do list, planning out your life. That's what that girls do. Then you're going to complete the life audit. You're going to assess everything, figuring out, does this bring me joy, growth, or pain? And then you're going to build your not so routine. That's routine. Got it? Okay. So for 21 days, this is what we're going to do. We're going to make our bed, because studies have shown that successful people make their bed. Now, successful people, I don't want you to think like, oh, successful people that make millions of dollars or whatever. It's not necessarily a status, money, or anything like that. That's not what we mark as successful here on the That Girl podcast. Successful people are people who go after what they want and they do it well. And that's just simple as that. So in order for you to be successful, I want you to start by making a very simple habit. And this is the only thing that is structured within this plan. And that is making your bed. I want you to make your bed every single morning, because I want you to start loving your mornings, embracing the fact that God has given you another chance. He is giving you another day to wake up and go after what is yours and what He's called you to do. And another thing is, when you come back home and let's say you weren't able to fuel your mind because life got in the way. You weren't able to fuel your body because you just got so busy. You weren't able to fuel your spirit because you just got so much stuff to do. At least you made your bed. You can come into your room and see that you've accomplished at least one thing. And that is going to be our marker that we at least got up and we got out of bed and we did something. So I want you to at least make your bed every single day. That's step one. And that doesn't have to be in the morning. That doesn't have to be, as soon as you wake up, but make it up at least some point in the day. So that's the one thing that you have to do. Then the second thing is fuel your mind. And I'm going to list off some examples of ways in which I like to fuel my mind. You can watch a sermon on YouTube, listen to a TED Talk or a podcast, or even read a book. Now, I haven't quantified how much time you need to spend doing any of these things, because that's up to you to define and measure for yourself. Everyone can't necessarily fit in 15 minutes to read a book. And I know that sounds crazy, but some of us can't. Sometimes you need to read and listen to audiobooks, or sometimes maybe you can fuel your mind by just listening to a TED Talk and squeezing it in on your commute to work. Figure out what works for you, but just make sure you're fueling your mind some way, somehow. I also want you to figure out a way that you can fuel your body. And this does not have to be the same thing every single day. I want you to list out the different ways in which you can do these things for yourself. And once you've listed them out, then you can interchange them. And when you're writing out your That Girl to-do list, you can figure out, okay, today to fuel my mind, I'm going to do this. To fuel my body, I'm going to do this. And this is just your way to go along your That Girl reset. So the third thing is to fuel your spirit, and these are some examples. I like to read a daily devotional sometimes. I like to create a Bible study group. This is something that I've done, and I have some sisters in Christ that are amazing. Shout out to Gia. Shout out to Nena. Shout out to Kaylin. We are out here, and we're doing it, and I love it, and it's a small niche community, and I highly recommend developing a community of Christ-like individuals so they can help you walk on your journey. But that's another thing that you can do. Or again, you can listen to some sermons. Hope Church is like one of my favorites. The One Church, Transformation Church. Like, there's so many churches that you can watch literally on your phone, on the go, and get something to fuel your spirit. And then the last thing is fueling your heart and soul. My favorite things to do is phoning a friend. Honing in on friendships is so important. I think a lot of other journeys kind of feed into the notion that in order for you to grow, you have to be in isolation. And I feel like sometimes God on different journeys will isolate you in order to prepare you for your next level. But I feel like there's so much power in community. There's so much power in having divine appointments and individuals in your life that can call you to be greater and that can remind you of your greatness and pour into you. And in order to do that, you have to cultivate community. You have to call people consistently. Relationships take work. And this is one of the things that girls do. They maintain relationships, and they understand the value in holding relationships beyond transactional use, but because of the things that it can do to fuel your mind, your body, and your spirit in so many other ways. And also your heart, because we're human. So I really want you to phone friends, call them, go on lunch dates, watch that rom-com if you want to hone in and laugh and cry at the same time. Take yourself out on a solo date. I love doing this to myself. Doing that face mask, treating yourself, having that dance break, doing really anything that you can. And I'm sorry, I skipped one. Fueling your body. Now, a lot of people may think, okay, I need to do 30 minutes of Pilates every single day on this 21-day reset, or I'm not becoming that girl. And I'm here to tell you that that's not necessarily the answer. So here's the thing. We're going to make it intentional to move our body at least once. Okay. And that doesn't necessarily have to be exercise. That can be having a dance break. I have dance battles with myself in my mirror all the time. Guys, I'm like Issa Rae in the mirror, but I'm dancing. I'm crumping. I'm doing all these different types of things. When I get good news, I dance. When I'm excited, I dance. When I'm sad, I dance. I use dance as a way to fuel my body and to fuel my spirit. So having a dance break, doing some Pilates, doing some dance cardio. There's so many fun dance workouts. You can do a twerk workout, a walking workout with Growing with Joe on YouTube. There's so many different options, but just move your body a bit. Go out for a walk. Like, just do anything to fuel your body. And another component to fueling your body can be eating at least one balanced meal a day. You just have to create measurable goals or quantifiable little factors for you to understand and know that, hey, okay, I am doing at least one thing to make me 1% better than the day before. I think this will be a really great time for all of us to come together and talk about the ways in which we're fueling our mind, the way in which we're fueling our body, our spirits, and our hearts, because self-care looks different to everyone. And I feel like there's this self-care culture that looks like doing a face mask and getting your nails done and spending all of this money. But all of the things that I've listed out to you guys are free. They're free. And these are free ways that you can fuel yourself and become the best version of yourself. I didn't say you had to go out and buy a whole new wardrobe. I didn't say you had to go reinvest in your business $5,000 in order to be the best version of yourself. These are things that are going to be small ways that are going to make you the best version of yourself. And it's all about becoming 1% better than the day before. So if you just take these small 6 steps every single day, I am almost positive by the end of this journey, you will be walking with so much more confidence and walking in your purpose and walking with just a better posture going into any room, just glowing and radiating because you've done the inner work. And with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the very first episode of That Girl Radio. It has been a blast talking to you all. Make sure to follow us at That Girl Radio on Instagram because we are going to be posting a lot of awesome content on there. I cannot wait to share with you all. We'll also be hosting polls and questions like Q&As for you guys to submit your own questions to be featured here on the That Girl Radio. So I love you guys and I will see you guys next time.